forward movement can only be sustained if it's supported by a culture of reflection and a willingness to pivot when there's a need for improvement. Data that has helped us identify areas for improvement include our school climate data survey, our classroom exit surveys, the consultation process with teachers in developing initiatives such as Max Time and the Professional Growth Plan model, staff and student surveys sent out as part of our Vision for Learning Working Party, and research undertaken to shape our strategic plan. But any conversation around success has to consider the kind of metrics that are less tangible to measure in a school. The buzz and energy in our classrooms, the voices of our staff and students who share their stories and success, and the way the aspirations we started out with have slowly, over time, become a part of our culture. When we reflect on our journey over the past 3 years, we looked at 3 important areas to highlight our progress and success. These are our professional learning culture centred around Max Time, our staff iPad program, and our student iPad program. We consider Max Time and the Professional Growth Plan important indicators of success and progress in how we impact teaching and learning at Kolbe. Building a culture of professional learning and growth amongst our staff, much around the effective use of technology, directly impacts the success students experience in the classroom. A strong measure of success for us is that we have created a process around professional growth that most teachers don't view as a form of appraisal and accountability, but rather as the development of a community of learners who support each other to try new things. Feedback from heads of learning through curriculum stand-up meetings and curriculum leaders' days reinforces the engagement staff have with the process. We also feel that it is an indicator of success that our teachers and staff know our vision and mission. They can identify the 5 Kolbe touchstones of our strategic plan and have set annual goals in relation to the success targets of the learning touchstones. This is a natural part of our conversation and something we probably weren't doing a few years ago. Gathering all our teachers together at Max Time every second Monday during the term, away from their learning area offices and into open and collaborative space, has helped us break down learning area silos and build connections between teachers who learn from each other. This is a massive success for us, as teachers see professional learning as a shared journey and are spurred on to try new things in their classes, encouraged by what they see their colleagues achieve.
I think it's really good to have the different workshops that you can choose to participate in. So if you really want to do something looking at, we did Procreate at the last one, you could go and look at that. If you want to do something about iPad tricks and tips and things and you've kind of forgotten how to split screen, you can go to that one. Or if you want to learn how a certain new app is working, it's really good. I did a really nice one with Rochelle not long ago where we looked at Notability and how you can use that. So I like that options are open for you to choose what skills you need to work on with the iPad.
It is an unqualified success that teachers drive their own learning and are not pigeonholed into a one-size-fits-all PD model at Kolbe. How do we know that this is all having an impact on the teaching and learning in the classroom? Because teachers are aligned around similar goals with the same outcome in mind, improving learning outcomes for their students. A natural progression from Max Time and from the success indicators of our strategic plan has been the introduction of our staff iPad program. Starting in 2019 and going through to 2022, our aim is to put an iPad Pro in the hands of every teacher. An immediate, observable success of this program in 2020 and this year is the significant decrease in the disconnect between staff who were using laptops to create activities and lessons for students who used iPads to learn. By giving staff the same device that our middle school students use, they are now able to design better learning experiences for the students and better understand the full scope of the ways students can demonstrate their learning on the iPad. We consider the way staff learn from students, just as much as students learn from staff, another exciting outcome of the iPad program over the past 18 months.
One of the benefits of having the same device as the kids at Kolbe is that it's really cohesive. So when I'm trying to explain to a student how to access something, because it's on the same device, I know how to do it, and it makes showing them or explaining something a lot easier. As well as this, it means that when I'm learning new things, I can teach the students new things about the iPad and vice versa. So it creates kind of like a mutual learning environment.
We are now also seeing evidence of our staff consistently shifting towards more active than passive learning in the classroom and leveraging technology to make this possible.
Once I got the iPad Pro, it did completely change things because the screen being bigger allowed me to see more, and for the purpose of marking students' work and doing cross marking with having a dual screen and doing my work with a dual screen made a real difference, and now it's predominantly my device.
Our final area that highlights our success and our progress in terms of the impact we have on teaching and learning is our student one-to-one iPad program. Our first foray into placing a mobile device in a student's hands to enhance their learning started with a class set of touch iPods back in 2008 and moved to a student one-to-one laptop program in 2009-2010. We started to explore the idea of implementing a one-to-one iPad program in around 2013, which is what we have in place for our middle school students now. Our senior school students choose which device they use, an iPad or a MacBook. We view the sustainability and longevity of our one-to-one student device program of over 12 years as a measure of its success. This has always been a successful program, but the impact of the iPad has been enhanced even further since 2020 with the introduction of the iPad Pro for our Year 7 students. The addition of the keyboard and Apple Pencil have been a game changer. The success of the student iPad program in the past 2 years can be measured in the following areas: the impact of our managed program in improving digital citizenship, the real-world nature of our classroom activities and assessments, the way students transfer their skills with the iPad and with technology across learning areas and into other areas of their lives, and finally the impact the device has had on our special needs students. The managed nature of the student iPad program in Years 7, 8 and 9 is based on a gradual release model of management. When students first arrive in Year 7, we manage the apps and features the students have access to in order to keep the iPad solely focused on learning and to teach our students digital responsibility. Then we gradually release our management of their devices throughout Years 8 and 9 so that students learn how to be responsible digital citizens. This has had an impact on the quality of student learning in terms of greater engagement, greater focus, less disruptions, and less negative incidents around the misuse of the iPad. Another success factor is that in our classrooms, the iPad Pro has led teachers to redesign assessments that take into account more real-world contexts. In Year 7 Science, for example, the students explore the drinkability of water for an Aboriginal community in the north of our state. The assessments and experiments they complete all link, exploring the real factors of the problem, testing and researching water quality, and devising solutions that can be implemented. The iPad allows them to complete the research, film and reflect on their experiments, and use this footage to create iMovies that presents their solutions to a wider audience. Moving on to a third area of progress for the student iPad program is that as student capacity with the iPad grows, we have noticed that students naturally transfer their skills across learning areas to demonstrate their learning. With more teachers building choice and agency into the learning process, students no longer only use GarageBand in a music class, for example, or iMovie in a media class. The students harness something like iMovie as a tool that can display learning in a range of areas and a range of classrooms. The success in improving the transferability of their skills has been observable. The final area that marks significant progress and success at Kolbe due to the Student iPad Pro program can be seen in our Learning Enrichment Centre. This year, we gave all of our education assistants iPads so that they could better support student learning as well.
One of the big things is speech to text to speech. We use that a lot. We're trying to have 3 or 4 kids that are all struggling to read. You can't be everywhere at once, but then being able to highlight a word or a sentence and having it read it's just worth it. It's so good, it's so beneficial. But just being able to say, well, get your Apple Pen out and draw it. They just love that. They can be creative, something they would have found it hard to be before. That would have just, first picture that came up, they'd copy and paste it or whatever. So Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, they do their spelling lists and things like that on pages. They can write sentences or pictures to make them understand the meaning of that word, of the word that they might be having trouble with. So they use pages all the time.
All of the success that we've experienced at Kolbe is in the first instance due to the quality of our teachers, our staff and our students. But there's no doubt that the technology brings an energy to the college that impacts our teaching and learning and makes a difference in the lives of our students.